Fascinating Iceland archaeology. Oldest Viking settlement should not have existed at that time. Now, after watching the Netflix Norseman series, I just found it and the Shield Maidens and what they went through is so fascinating. But most of us don't know anything about Iceland. It only has 260,000 population, and it was settled around the mid-9th, 10th century by the Northmen from Scandinavia, who were fantastic seafarers, of course, and they traveled there. They had found a settlement, and around 1930 they had their first written constitution. But according to facts concerning Viking history, Vikings discovered many new lands. It was the Vikings who first discovered what's now the Faroe Islands in the North Atlantic after sailing west from what is now Norway. Other places they discovered include, as we said, Iceland, and then from there they went to Greenland. They also went from Greenland to Newfoundland and even to North America. And we'll see the map of that, how close they are. And this is also, from what we know from antiquity, the route that the ancient traders from ancient Greece took to go to the new land, to North America. They even found Minoan ancient Greek DNA in the Native American Indians around the Great Lakes. DNA from the ancient Minoans of Crete, of ancient Crete, the southernmost island of Greece. So even the Vikings were able to do that. From Scandinavia to the Faroe Islands, then to, of course, they also inhabited Scotland, Faroe Islands, Iceland, then Greenland, and then from there, hot skip and a jump to Nova Scotia, and on to the new land, North America, Newfoundland and North America. Now, concerning the oldest Viking settlement in Iceland, according to Jocelyn LeBlanc, archaeologists unearthed what they believed is the oldest Viking settlement ever found in Iceland, but the discovery raises questions since the Vikings were believed to have arrived there only decades later. Bjarni Einarsson, who led the excavations at the site, said the ancient longhouses were discovered underneath a newer longhouse that contained quite a few treasures. The ancient longhouse, which was thought to have been a summer residence, was constructed during the 800s. Einarsson found ruins of the longhouse back in 2007, but did not start excavations until 2015. The longhouses were big wooden halls that measured up to 250 feet in length, 20 feet in width. They were covered in thatch and turf. A lot of these thatch and turf is what we even see in England now, thatched roof. I think they have a guarantee of that being 10 years. It looks beautiful. And it also is rainproof. The rain runs off very nicely. It's also very good for keeping in the heat. So it has a thermal insulation. Now, the Vikings lived in these thatched turfed houses. Numerous different families could live in them, as the spaces were divided into cubicles. And additionally, stone hearths were located in the center of the longhouses, where farm animals lived during the cold months. The structures were located in Sto, which is close to a village in the fjord of Stovar Fjord on the eastern side of Iceland. Now, we know that even the American Indians of the cold temperature areas had longhouses. They had longhouses. I remember because this is what I grew up in Montreal. I finished high school in Montreal in Canada, and we had a lot of beautiful history to learn as to how the Indians of Canada lived. They had longhouses. They had fires in the center of these longhouses, and a lot of the Indians during their old age, because of the smoke from the fires, would go blind because of the smoke irritation to the eyes. But unfortunately, anyway, going back to this, in an interview with Live Science, Einarsson stated the Younger Hall is the richest in Iceland so far, and he said it's hard not to conclude that it is a chieftain's house. The younger structure, measuring 130 feet long, was built around the year 874, containing several items, which include silver, ornamental beads and ancient coins, which were Middle Eastern and Roman silver coins, some of the most valuable treasures discovered in Scandinavia. They even found hack silver, which are pieces of silver that were cut and bent, which were used as currency by ancient settlements like the Vikings, and other items that were unearthed, including rings, decorative glass beads, small pieces of gold, and weights. It's believed that the Vikings obtained these items as part of trade deals that other settlements would have given them for their meat and animal skins, and several pictures of these items, as well as excavation sites such as this, which was from a Viking era grave. Now, as for the older longhouses, since it was built several decades before the Vikings were believed to have settled permanently in Iceland, it's suggested that the structure may have been used temporarily during the warmer months of the year, similarly to how modern-day humans go to their camps or cottages for the summer. It's one of the biggest longhouses discovered in Iceland, definitely had enough room for workers to perform their jobs there. And Emerson said, "We know that the westernmost part of the older hall was a smithy for working with metal, the only smithy within a hall known in Iceland." Other interesting facts, similar to the Viking settlement, was found at Lans og Medø, which is located in the Canadian province of Newfoundland, dating back to around the year 1000. Lans og Medø National Historic Site is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the only authenticated Norse site in all of North America. And so that means, of course, that it was not Christopher Columbus who discovered America. Definitely the Norsemen had a site there, as the historical site in Newfoundland was from about the year 1000 by the Norsemen. This is on Collective Spark. And facts about Vikings, 50 facts you probably got wrong about the world seafarers. Very interesting things. Please leave your comments. I think this is just fascinating. This has to do with of course, our anthropology, archaeology, and some of our roots. Because obviously, let's go to the map so that we could see how they traveled there. Norway, Oslo, Norway. The writing is in Greek because I'm in Greece. This is Scotland, Scotia, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Scotland. These are the Faroe Islands. And let's measure. Let's start measuring. Okay, this is I don't know what islands those are, but it's a hop, skip, and so let's say here to here. That's 219 miles. If you had a good stiff wind, you can get there maybe in 10 hours of sailing. Okay, now let's go here. What's this? From here to here? That's just about, must be less. Oh, okay, that's about 200, about the same distance. Let's pull out now. So they got to Faroe Islands. From there we travel, let's say we have our ship, we travel from there to here. That's in 300 and some odd miles. So maybe it'll take 2 days. Let's pull out. So we got to Iceland there. Now from Iceland, we're going to go to Greenland. From Iceland, we go to Greenland, and that's about another 260 miles. Then we're going to go around hugging the coast. We're going to start hugging the coast of Greenland. And from there, let's go here, Newfoundland. Okay, from here to here. Okay, that's about 290 miles. We're going to hug the coast of Labrador. Okay, let's make it so that we can recognize it much better. Labrador, that's Quebec. So here we were over there, and we're going to hug the coast, and we're going to come down this way. So maybe it'll take a week or so if they had good sails and good winds. Obviously, if they were not in a rush. This is what we said before, that the Greeks of Crete from down here, that's Crete, they had trading all along this area of Britain, and Scotia. We know that they had found ancient coins of Alexander the Great in in Scotland, and obviously for them to have ancient coins of Alexander the Great there, it's because obviously Alexander the Great lived about 330 BC. So what were they doing there? We did find Minoan DNA in the Native Americans around the Great Lakes. Also, they had found that the copper, most of the copper was removed from the Great Lakes. Where did it go to? Well, obviously it came back here. And they did find ancient mining equipment there. So, the DNA and also the language. The language was ancient Greek writing. We know one of the professors in 1815 wrote a letter to all the chiefs of the United States, telling them he wrote them in ancient Greek. Obviously, he wrote them in ancient Greek. They didn't go to college to learn ancient Greek. That was their lettering, their alphabet, and their language. And the professor there from one of the university, it starts with an M, Massachusetts or Maine, wrote the chiefs of the United States and North America to warn them that they should take care of their culture because the influx of the Westerners, that they should take care of their culture. And he wrote to them calling them brothers. Aderfiamu, my brothers, he said. Aderfiamu is Greek for my brothers. And he wrote them in ancient Greek, in the Greek alphabet, because that was their native language and their native alphabet. So, very strange going on, isn't it? But this is fantastic. Iceland, one of the new countries, only 260,000 people living there. It's has a hotspot underneath, and they all have heating and electricity from geothermal energy that they have there. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.